Viewer discretion is advised.
Your name, sir, for the record?
Michael McKee.
Have you had a chance to speak with him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Just before his first court appearance, prosecutors made a move that changed everything. Michael David McKee, a 39-year-old vascular surgeon, stood in a Winnebago County courtroom on January 12, 2026, shackled in a yellow jail jumpsuit, accused of killing his ex-wife Monique Tepe and her husband, Dr. Spencer Tepe. But what happened in the days leading up to that courtroom moment is what makes this case particularly chilling. After his arrest, prosecutors quietly upgraded the charges against him to premeditated aggravated murder. In Ohio, that means they believe he planned it. And in Ohio, that carries the possibility of life in prison without parole or the death penalty. We'll get to that courtroom footage in just a moment. But to understand what makes McKee's calm demeanor so unsettling, you need to know what investigators uncovered in the days leading up to that hearing, what the family revealed about his past, and why this case represents far more than just another tragic crime. It's a story about a life carefully rebuilt after abuse, only to end in violence. Before we continue, drop a comment right now. What's the first question that comes to your mind about this case? I want to hear your thoughts as we walk through what happened in that courtroom. On December 30th, 2025, just days after Christmas, Columbus police responded to a home in the Wineland Park neighborhood. What they found inside would shock the community and eventually capture national attention. Dr. Spencer Tepe, a 37-year-old dentist, and his wife Monique Tepe, 39, were found dead from gunshot wounds. Their two young children, ages 1 and 4, were inside the home, unharmed. The 911 call came from Spencer's colleagues who had gone to check on him after he didn't show up for work that morning. According to transcripts, one caller could be heard describing children crying inside while unable to get anyone to answer the door. Police arrived at 10:04 a.m. and pronounced both victims dead at 10:11 a.m. There was no gun found at the scene, no signs of forced entry. Their dog was also unharmed. For nearly 2 weeks, investigators worked around the clock. They released surveillance footage on January 5th, showing a person of interest walking through an alley near the Tepes home during the time frame they believed the couple was killed, somewhere between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. The figure wore light-colored pants and a dark hooded jacket. Police tracked that person to a vehicle that arrived just before the murders and left shortly after. That vehicle would lead them to Rockford, Illinois. On January 10, 2026, authorities arrested Michael David McKee, Monique's ex-husband, at his residence in Rockford. McKee and Monique had been married in August 2015 and divorced in June 2017. They had no children together. Court records show the divorce was granted on grounds of incompatibility with no major conflicts during proceedings. Monique went on to marry Spencer Tepe on December 13, 2020, and together they built a life centered around their 2 young children. McKee, a vascular surgeon with licenses in California and Illinois, had no disciplinary history in any state where he practiced medicine. Neighbors in his Lincoln Park condo building in Chicago described him as polite and unremarkable. One neighbor told ABC7 she had sat with him by the pool, talking about what a beautiful day it was. She said finding out he was accused of murder was shocking. But new information would emerge that painted a different picture of McKee's past relationship with Monique. After McKee's arrest on January 10th, Franklin County prosecutors in Ohio made a critical decision. They upgraded his charges from 2 counts of murder to 2 counts of premeditated aggravated murder. This wasn't a small change. According to the Columbus Division of Police, the upgrade happened because detectives believed they had met the elements necessary to charge McKee with aggravated murder. While they didn't specify what those elements were, the word premeditated tells us everything we need to know about the direction of this investigation. Premeditation means planning. It means intent. It means prosecutors believe this wasn't a crime of passion or a spontaneous act of violence. They believe Michael McKee thought about it, planned it, and carried it out deliberately. Under Ohio law, aggravated murder is one of the most serious charges a person can face. It's more severe than standard murder, and the penalties reflect that. If convicted, McKee could face life in prison without the possibility of parole. In some cases, it can even carry the death penalty. This upgrade indicates that investigators believe McKee drove approximately 350 to 400 miles from Illinois to Ohio with a specific purpose: that he arrived at the home of his ex-wife and her husband in the early morning hours of December 30th and allegedly shot them both to death while their children slept nearby. And then, on the day of McKee's court appearance, Spencer Tepe's brother-in-law, Rob Misler, revealed something significant to NBC News. When asked about McKee, Misler said the family had quickly believed he was involved. Then he added something that hadn't been in the public record. He was an emotionally abusive person when they were together. That is all I know. This revelation added a new layer to understanding the history between McKee and Monique. The divorce may have appeared amicable on paper, but according to family members, the reality of their relationship was different. Pause for a second. If you're finding this case as troubling as I am, hit that subscribe button. We're going to follow every development in this story as it unfolds, and I don't want you to miss any updates. Now let's get into what happened in that courtroom.
On the table, Michael McKee.
Counsel.
Alexander. Third reporter for the defendant is present in custody.
Your name, sir, for the record?
Michael McKee.
Have you had a chance to speak with him?
Yes, Your Honor.
What's your position at this time?
Yes, at this time, Your Honor, on behalf of Mr. McKee, I will assert his right to counsel. I will assert his right to remain silent. And Mr. McKee believes that the most expeditious manner in which he may defend himself against the charges pending in Ohio and to plead not guilty would be to waive his right to an extradition hearing and to have a governor's warrant and to agree to his immediate transportation to Ohio.
Understood, thank you. We will set this matter then for 2 o'clock on Monday for status on the transfer.
Thank you.
Anything else we can do today?
Not from this one.
Thank you, Kirk. Thanks, everyone.
On January 12, 2026, at 1:30 p.m., Michael McKee appeared before a judge in Winnebago County, Illinois. The hearing lasted only a few minutes, but what stood out to those present wasn't what McKee said. It was how he carried himself. He stood straight, dressed in a yellow Winnebago County Jail jumpsuit, his hands and feet shackled. He wore glasses. Observers in the courtroom noted that he appeared very calm. He showed no emotion, no visible reaction to the proceedings, no sign of distress or anger or fear. When the judge addressed him, McKee spoke only to confirm his name. Other than that, he remained silent. His attorney, Winnebago County Public Defender Kari Poirier, did the talking on his behalf. And what she said was significant. McKee was waiving his right to an extradition hearing. He wasn't going to fight being sent back to Ohio. In fact, his attorney made it clear that he wanted a speedy return so he could plead not guilty to the charges. The judge scheduled a follow-up hearing for the following Monday, but court officials noted it would likely be cancelled once McKee was extradited to Ohio. The exact timeline for his transfer wasn't given, but authorities made it clear it would happen soon. At the end of the hearing, McKee and his attorney spoke quietly before shaking hands. Then he was led out of the courtroom, still calm, still expressionless. For the Tepe family watching from Ohio, this moment represented what they called an important step toward justice. But they also acknowledged the painful truth. Nothing can undo what happened. Nothing can bring Spencer and Monique back. The day before McKee's court appearance on Sunday, January 11th, friends and family had gathered for a joint celebration of life ceremony for Spencer and Monique. Visitation was held from noon to 3 p.m. at Schwerdinger Northwest Funeral Home in Upper Arlington, with a brief remembrance at 2:30 p.m., followed by a celebration of life gathering at Jew Amici restaurant in Columbus. Rob Mizell, Spencer's brother-in-law, told NBC News that the couple had shared a beautiful, strong, and deeply happy relationship. He described them as warm and welcoming people who lived for their children. Audrey Mackey, Spencer's cousin, told CNN affiliate WLWT that their lives became about their children and sharing those children with the people they loved. In Spencer and Monique's wedding video from December 2020, you can see the joy they felt about finding each other. During her vows, Monique said she knew from the first day that she had found someone special. "I had quite a journey to get to you," she said. Countless bad bumble dates, wrong relationships and waterfalls of tears, but it was worth every cringing second because it led me to you. Michael McKee is now awaiting extradition back to Ohio, where he will face 2 counts of premeditated aggravated murder in Franklin County. His attorney has indicated he plans to plead not guilty. The investigation remains active and ongoing. Columbus police have not publicly identified a motive for the killings, and they've been careful not to release details that could compromise the case. When asked whether McKee was the person seen in the surveillance footage walking near the Tepes home, officials declined to comment. But the evidence they do have was enough to track him across state lines. It was enough to arrest him. And now, it's been deemed strong enough to support premeditated aggravated murder charges, charges that indicate prosecutors believe they can prove McKee planned this act. The questions that remain are significant. What was the specific motive? What happened in the 8 years between their divorce in 2017 and December 30th, 2025? Was there any contact between them during that time? Any escalation that could have served as a warning? Those answers will likely emerge as the case proceeds through the Ohio court system. For now, what we know is this. Prosecutors believe they can prove premeditation. They believe they can prove McKee planned this. And in a case where 2 young children lost both parents in a single night, in the very home where their parents had exchanged wedding vows, that distinction matters enormously. The 2 children are now in the care of relatives. The family has asked for privacy as they navigate this unimaginable tragedy while also preparing to protect the future of the children Spencer and Monique loved so deeply. This case is far from over. As McKee heads back to Ohio to face these upgraded charges, there will be more developments, more court appearances, and eventually, a trial. If you want to stay updated on every detail, make sure you're subscribed to this channel. And if this case affected you the way it affected me, share this video with someone who follows true crime. The more people who understand what happened here, the more we can honor Spencer and Monique's memory by demanding accountability. Drop a comment below with your thoughts on the charge upgrade and what the family revealed about McKee's past. Do you think the evidence of premeditation will hold up in court? I'll be reading every single one. Michael David McKee's first court appearance revealed a man who appeared calm and composed in the face of charges that could result in life in prison or the death penalty. But behind that calm exterior is a case filled with unanswered questions. a revelation about emotional abuse, grieving family members, and 2 children who will grow up without their parents. As this case moves forward, we'll be here to bring you every update. This is a story that demands justice, and we're going to follow it until the end. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.